welcome you all to this special session, which is conducted by CSEA for especially targeting the second years to let you know all about the intern drive at NIT Oracle. So we have already conducted two events in this series of sessions, which were resume building workshop, and then we reviewed your workshops as well, reviewed your resumes as well. And this will be giving you brief idea about how the intern drive works and what preparations do you guys need to do regarding that. So yeah, the first thing I will be explaining is like the very first questions that comes into everyone's mind is like how much time do you have before the intern drive starts. So basically, you guys will be having like around 6 to 7 months because your intern drive will be starting within like end of July, you can expect. So, and it like at max August. So you have kind of 5 to 6 months, you can say. So yeah, then the second things will be like what kind of companies can you like expect from like intern drive at NIT Warangal. So majorly like like the major companies which are coming will be of software jobs, which is SDE, and those will be basically Microsoft, Amazon, and T-Show, Oracle, Qualcomm. So these are some of the big companies that come at NIT Warangal, and you will get the list of companies very soon. Like basically, there is CCPD in our like CCPD department in our college, which will be like managing whole intern and placement drives. So like those the group will be created for your branch, and there you will be informed about which companies are coming and when is the interview and OT etc. held for that particular company. So you might be wondering like what is OT and what is intern like interviews and all and how it works. So yeah, first I will request if you are comfortable then you can turn on your video because we are like, and also we'll like give you unmute access soon. So if you have any questions, you can interact with us. So yeah, basically how the process goes is first of all, if any company is coming, you will be provided a deadline to upload your resume and fill a form containing your details within 1 or 2 days. And after like they receive the responses, they will provide you with the details when is the OT, which is online test, is going to happen. So online test is the first step of any intern drive, and it will be nothing but a coding contest basically, which will be consisting of either 2 or 3 questions at max, and it will be either 1.5 hours or 2 hours in general. So yeah, you will be like solving them same as you solve questions in your coding contest like held on Code Forces or Code Chef, etc. And it will be proctored, which means like the camera access will be there in majority of cases. So yeah, that's all about OT, and the next stage will be the interviews. So after your OT is completed, like some of you will be shortlisted, and that will be informed by the companies, and then you will be asked to like be present in the interviews. So interviews will be majorly divided into two segments. The first one will be your technical interview, and the second one will be your HR rounds. So, technical interviews, it might be one or two depending on the companies, and in that, like majorly companies have two technical interviews. One will be purely focusing on DSA, which is your data structures and algorithm course, And the second technical interview will be majorly focusing on TPMS and OOPS, which is nothing but database management systems, and OOPS is nothing but object-oriented programming. And yeah, they will be basically focusing on that. And after those two rounds, the third round will be HR round, which is human resources round. So like they will be asking you questions related, uh, like why do you want to join that particular company, or why should they hire you, and what kind of weaknesses and strengths do you have, etc. Such kind of questions you can expect, and there might be some coding questions as well, depending on the company. But yeah, there like majorly you can expect that will be a easier part, because whatever technical part they wanted to test from you will be completed within your first two rounds only. So yeah, that's all about like how the intern drive goes. And now coming to the part like how should you proceed with your preparation, and how should you prepare for each of these rounds, or let's say starting with the OT. So yeah, Chaitanya, you can like take over from here.
Okay, thank you, Chirantan. I'm audible clearly, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So coming to the question, so when should you start your preparation? So I would say that if you haven't started it already, you should start it today itself, because even if you start today, at the end you might feel like you haven't got sufficient time for the preparation. So it's better that you start as early as possible. So what does by preparation mean? So basically you need to strengthen three pillars.
Uh, yeah, like is he like
Is it
stuck
stuck?
forever? Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Chaitanya, like you have issues with your internet. We will wait for him. Chaitanya, your voice is breaking. Like we can't hear you clearly.
Yeah, just a second.
Yeah, you can turn off your video. Then it might be better, I guess. You can turn off your video. Then it will be better, I
Hello,
guess.
am I audible now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You are.
Hello, I'm audible now, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, clear.
Yeah, so I'll go on. Sorry for the interruption. So as I was saying, like, you should start your preparation today itself, because at the end you will, some of you may feel like I should have started earlier, and such regrets don't help later. So it's better that you start now itself. Now is the right time to start. So coming to the preparation strategy, you need to strengthen three pillars. So these three pillars are data structures and algorithms. The second is database management system, and third is object oriented programming. So all of you must know that these three topics are the most important from intern perspective. Subjects like computer architecture and CN are not generally asked for interns, but they will be asked for placements. So from internship point of view, you just need to focus on these three topics majorly. So coming to DSF preparation, so some good resources that you can prepare are Geeks for Geeks, from which you can refer to general algorithms and stuff. So if you all have KR Sir's recordings, those are also a good source to learn your data structures. So coming to practice, as Chirantan mentioned, each company will have an online test before the interview round, right? So online test is basically a competitive coding round within the college itself, where you will be competing with your batchmates, right? So it's important that you increase your on the spot thinking ability skills so that you can crack the online test as fast as you can and solve problems at ease. So the main important thing I would like to suggest is give a lot of importance to data structures and algorithms. So what are some good resources to practice this? Is one is lead code. So lead code has a question of the day which some of you might not know. If you don't know, you can go and explore that. So basically you can solve one question every day, and by 3 to 4 months, by the next 3 to 4 months, you will observe that your level has definitely increased and you have solved quite a variety of problems. So along with lead code, another good place to practice your data structures and algorithms is interview bit. So in interview bit, there are questions sorted according to companies. Then there are questions related to specific topics also. For example, if you want to practice dynamic programming, you can do that over there too. So coming to your algorithm and fast thinking ability, I would suggest it's important to practice on platforms like CodeChef and CodeForces, where your problem solving skills increase. So just a second. Yeah, so as I was saying, CodeChef and CodeForces uh, is an important part of your practice. So that will increase your speed in online tests. So coming to database management systems, so there's a Sanchit Jain playlist available on YouTube. So that's a good recap of whatever. So some of you might have DBMS in your curriculum, while some of you may not have. So for either case, it's best if you watch this Sanchit Jain playlist, as it precisely covers all important topics of DBMS that are generally asked in the interviews, which include normalization and all. So another good playlist for DBMS is Gate Smashers. So coming to object-oriented programming, Tutorial Points is a good website where you can learn about the basics of object-oriented programming, and also take a look at their examples which they have used over there. So these resources were mainly which I used for preparation. So, and don't forget that competitive coding is necessary. Like, you should decide how much you want to pursue that, but it's important that you at least experience it, if not like do it very seriously or regularly. But it's important to get an idea of how the competition might be. So one more point I would like to add is many companies will start coming, and as companies come, your friends might start getting interns, right? So the first and most important thing is don't get depressed if your friends are getting interns. Just stay positive. There will be many companies that will come later which are good. Like uh, many companies will come, and you need not lose hope if your friends are getting. Don't panic. So that's all. Does anyone want to add anything? Yeah, so we will be sharing these links for resources like Sanchit Jain playlist and all after this meet. We'll be sharing it to everyone. Yeah. So who would like to share their intern experience now?
Yeah, before that, like we'll
Okay.
cover the part of projects, and then like how competitive programming is like important, and like how should they proceed, like etc.
Yeah, sure.
So coming to like projects, so majority of companies don't require to have you a project, especially for interns, because uh, like like their tax will be definitely different, and you will be given time initially to learn those tax. So definitely, if you have any prior experience in development, then and yet you have made any project, then it will be an extra feature, but it is not completely necessary. But like what is necessary is you have to be good with DSA, DBMS, OOPS, and then if you are like having time, then in that time you can like invest it in your development part so that you can make yourself like more over like other candidates. But you should not do development at the cost of DSA. That's what I want to say. Because like if we like I saw like many seniors give you advice to do development, it's completely fine. But if you do it at the cost of DSA, then it won't be like helping you, because they like DSA is the first step basically. In the later part, you can mention if you have any development background or not. So yeah, that's all about the projects. Chaitanya, if you want to explain about CP, then you can go on. Otherwise, I can also tell.
Okay, I'll just
Yeah.
you can go on if you want.
Okay, cool. So basically, like as Chaitanya already mentioned, like you can follow the Code Forces or Code Chef platforms. So majorly, I will be suggesting to go with Code Forces because Code Chef is kind of very like not very popular recently because of like cheating and all happening there. And like I would suggest to go for Code Forces, and like it is comparatively a higher level as well. So, and apart from that, if you are like if you want to boost your confidence, then Lead Code Weekly and Beat Weekly contests are pretty good to boost up your confidence as well. Like they contain majority DSA. So like you will get the competitive programming feeling as well, and DSA also. And your OT questions will be more like lead code rather than like code forces. So you can go for that. Like I will suggest like it's tough because like it is 8 a.m. Sunday morning. So you have to sacrifice your Sunday morning, but yeah, I would tell that it's totally worth it. And there is also B2k Contest that is held on alternative Saturdays 8 p.m. on LeetCode. That also you can go for. And apart from that, for Code Forces, like try to give all contests that are held. Let's say today also 8 p.m. there is a contest. So many of your second years like classmates are already doing really great on these platforms. So you can contact them and have a healthy competition, because at the end like everyone is going to get intern. That's not an issue. So like don't be like too much competitive here, and try to believe in healthy competition and learn along with your uh, classmates and friends. It might not be classmate as well, like your friends. So basically, at our time, what we used to do is like after our exams were over, like we had a WhatsApp group where all the third year coders were there who were like interested in software background, basically, and we used to get updates from each other, like how the contest went. Like after the contest is over, we used to discuss the problems and all there, and discuss the solutions of the problem, so that you will get idea like a problem can be solved with multiple ways, and your way might not be as efficient as the other one, because in interview they specifically require the efficient solution. So in that, like the process will be like you won't get the solution directly, you will go the step by step. So that step comes, like that thing comes when you explore more solution for a particular problem. Then you will get idea like how to move from worst solution to a best solution. That you can get like by exploring more solutions. So yeah, like try to give all the contest and discuss with some of your friends. You can like it need not be a like really like huge group, but you can like create a group of 7 to 8 or 10 maybe of your classmates who are really interested, and then you can do contests online. Yeah. And like don't go for rating. Like I so many people are like really worried about rating and all, uh, but I personally believe that it really doesn't matter, because at the end it's not like rating. Definitely you can mention in your resume, but I don't think any company cares about your rating, because you can easily boost your account by like giving to some red coder or something. Like it can be done easily by paying some amount of money. So it's not something they look for. What they look for is how much hours have you, like how much hours have you spent, which were like useful out of, like you have gained something out of it. So give the contest to gain some experience and of problem solving and improve your accuracy, because accuracy is something you want for the online test. So consider it like that, not like gaining the rating at all. So yeah, that's all from my side. If I have skipped anything regarding CP, Sufyan or Chaitanya or anyone here
Yeah,
want to
sure.
add, you can
I
add.
would like to add just one more thing. So, one thing that I personally used, one of my strategies is basically if a coding competition is from 8 to 10, suppose some code forces contest, and I'm able to solve only the first two problems, A and B, during the contest. So, the strategy that I generally use is after, so within the contest, you just apply whatever you previously knew, right? Your actual learning would begin after the contest is over. So on either platform, either Codeforces or CodeChef, after the contest, an editorial will be released. So please refer to this editorial and try to solve at least 1 to 2 questions more than what you were able to solve during the contest. So this is called upsolving, and like it's necessary because these next 1 to 2 questions will be the ones where you will actually learn something new, and this will definitely help you ahead. So that's all. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Sufyan, you
we'll
want to add
start with
something?
the interview experiences if anyone doesn't have to add.
Sufyan, I think you have to add something.
Yeah, Sufyan.
No, no, no. We will continue with the interview experience, and then I will add what I have to say. That I get.
Okay, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with Bharat only. Bharat. Yeah, if you're not comfortable, you can go with someone else also.
I
It's
think we
fine.
can go with the order mentioned, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Okay, so should I go first?
Yeah, yeah, Chaitanya, go for it.
Okay, so uh, first of all, I would like to tell you that I'm placed in Amazon. So before Intern Drive started, actually, there was a Hack on Amazon program. So it was a development. It was basically a hackathon, and we were given 3 problem statements. So my team was me, Sufyan, Anshuman, and Ashika. So so basically, Hackon was a hackathon which first had a idea phase, then a coding contest, and then we had to present our final problem statement, whatever we had worked. So through this hack on Amazon, our team had reached finals, and all of us had got an opportunity to. Uh, so basically, we had an interview through which they recruited students. So I would like to add that there are many off-campus opportunities also available. So similar to Hack on Amazon, Amazon also conducts ML Summer School. So both of these programs started last year, and through ML Summer School, they recruit for applied scientist position, and through Hackon, they were recruiting for STE. So along with Amazon, many other companies also conduct such hackathons or some programs. So Microsoft also conducted one Engage program, which uh, which Dikshita will tell you in detail about later. So basically, after Amazon Hackathon, since we had reached the finals, we had an interview, all 4 of us. So in the Amazon interview, they asked 2 questions based on data structures and algorithms. So I'll answer the doubts later. So basically, all of us were asked 2 data structures and algorithms questions. So and after that, their results of the interview came later after our intern drive had started. So during the intern drive, I had applied attempted OTs of 3 to 4 companies only. So I was able to shortlist for D Shaw OT, but couldn't clear the interview round. So after that, there was another OT of Uber which I didn't qualify, and there was another one of Microsoft which I qualified, but the Amazon results came. So I would like to tell about the college policy. So according to college according to college policy, basically after you get one result, you can't apply for other internship at other companies. So basically I had to go with Amazon, and that's my intern journey. So over to the next speaker.
Yeah, so I'd like to go next. Uh, yeah, so I got selected in Oracle. So Oracle is kind of like a mass recruiter in our college, and they take a lot of people. So from our batch, if I'm not wrong, around 20 students got selected. And this time they recruited for two two categories, so server technology and app development. But later they had also come for NetSuite recruitment, but they didn't take any at that time. So the next, for your batch, it's possible that they might come and recruit more, like for three categories they might recruit. So it's possible that they'll take even more students this time. So coming to the OT of Oracle, it was more like they have a huge question bank, and there are a lot of sections like language, basically questions on English grammar, then mental ability, and also a lot on data structures and coding and AVL trees. Also, they had a section with questions on it. So there's a huge variety of questions, and it's an MCQ based test with and the time limit is very less, and no two people have the same questions. Like they have a big question bank, and questions are randomly uh, put. So yeah, after the OT, three rounds of interview were selected for me. Sorry, I gave three rounds of interviews. The third one was purely HR round. In the first one, basic,
And
two
you're
basic.
like you are stuck, I guess. Your screen is perfect.
Uh, am I audible right now?
एक मिनट उस
Chaitanya,
एक
if you
मिनट
can let
उस
me know. हाँ,
हाँ हाँ एक मिनट मेरे लैपटॉप से बोल.
हाँ, ये best. The perks of being cousins, like twins.
Twins, not cousins, man.
Twins, my bad.
हाँ ठीक है. So Oracle में फिर interview, there were 3 interview rounds. The third one was purely HR, and so the first interview
Can you,
had two basic.
can you mute from Chinmay Hardikar's account? Like both are unmuted, so
Yeah,
there
I
is a problem.
muted, but I it will because of internet issue. It will get resolved in a minute. एक minute. Everyone, please hold on for a minute. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Yeah, it's fine.
Right?
Yeah, clear.
Okay, yeah. So there were 3 interview rounds. The third one was purely HR round. In the first one, they asked 2 basic questions of some array traversal and one of strings, and it was a very simple interview. Then the second round was a bit tough, like compared to the first one. They asked a few questions on object oriented programming, and so they focused more on my resume. So I'd written I know Python, Java, and C++. So they asked the differences in the 3 languages, and they asked some questions on object oriented programming. In the second interview was a bit longer, and in that they also asked a little bit of competitive programming, and it was a bit unexpected, but they asked questions on the try data structure. So not many do ask that, but one was asked on that. So make sure that you listen to KR sir's lectures and some data structures that he teaches at end. In competitive coding, you mostly won't come across many questions on that, but the interviewers may ask you questions regarding that. Yeah, and in the third round, so it was an HR based interview where they asked questions like, why do you want to join Oracle? So I had previously googled what all products and like what exactly the company does, so you should have an idea of what projects they are working on, and uh, try and google more stuff about the company itself. And I also had like for social service, I had helped at a COVID center near my house, and so I had also told about that. And in general, like uh, it's a non-technical round, and they'll ask questions like, did you in your preparation face, what all problems did you face, how did you tackle those and all. So that was my third interview. And one surprising, like one thing that I'd like to share is like Oracle was the first OT I cracked. Before that, I hadn't passed any company's OT. So in some I really underperformed, but even in some, like for example, in our year Microsoft had a relatively simple OT. Like there were 2 questions. I was pretty confident that I had done both, but I guess like many had done both. So they had done resume shortlisting and CGPA shortlisting as well. So yeah, so and the thing is that after every company, like it kinda feels bad that you aren't getting selected anywhere, and like it feels like that there are less chances, but don't lose hope. Like it's very important to stay positive and keep giving your best till you get selected, because there are really a lot of opportunities, even though at the start it feels like things are getting out of hand. But always try and stay positive and give your best during each opportunity you get. Yeah, over to the next speaker.
Yeah, are you here?
So first of all, come on some strategies that I want to share.
Your like voice is very low. If you can increase it, like try to keep mic near.
It's fine.
No, it's still very low.
Okay. Now it's fine.
Okay, yeah, it's audible. Like try to speak higher. So
Yeah, fine. So first of all, come on some preparation strategies like that I want to share. Like on whichever platforms you are practicing, like mark important questions, because you need to look at those questions again. Like see that questions, all the questions again and again. So mark some important questions. And in DBMS and OOPS, there are
Apurv, if you are wearing headphones or earphones, can you remove it? Your voice is very low. It's hard to hear you.
okay, fine.
Yeah, thank you.
Now it's fine.
yeah, it's
Yeah, perfect.
really better.
Okay. So yeah. So for DBMS and OOPS, there are some general questions. So cover them first, because most of the companies like they ask that questions only. And in OOPS, they can also ask you how this principle is related to your real life situations. So you can explain those principles according to your real life situations also. And I also want to tell you that there are some puzzle based questions which you can practice on both on Geeks for Geeks or Interview Beat. So interviewers ask that questions on Geeks for Geeks or from Interview Beat. Okay, so and 15 days before start of intern drive, try not to do many new things, because try to finish things at least 15 days before, because remembering things at the last point of time, it's very difficult, because it's very hard to difficult those things which you will learn later. And for online test, I want to say that like one of the major things that you should be aware of, it's time management. That's why coding contests are very, very important here. Like they will teach us how to manage time. So sometimes online tests are very, very easy. So they will select you on the basis of time you take to complete it. So give as many contests so to manage the time efficiently during online test. And one of the important topics like dynamic programming, and to excel that there is only one way, that is practice. And so there are many variety of questions in dynamic programming. So to excel dynamic programming, so practice as much as you can. And for interview, I will say that go with a fresh mind. Like do not like think about any past bad interview. Just try not to repeat your mistakes and just go with a fresh mind. And there may be present some articles that you can search on Geeks for Geeks, like which company will ask that questions in previous year questions. You can find on Geeks for Geeks some articles are there, so you can find it easily. And confidence is a major key, because if you have low confidence, that they can lead to opposite results. Yeah, it is possible that your confidence is not that good because results are not coming in our favor, but low confidence always lead to bad results. So try to be have good confidence and be calm. And if you are not getting an answer, like you can ask in an interviewer for a few minutes to think, but don't panic. Yeah. And yeah, and last they will ask you that some, if you have any questions that you can ask, so try to ask them one or two questions, because interviewer will think that you are interested in it. Okay, so like do not ask them like what your position in company, or like any question about interviewer. Just ask them like what I will learn during my internship period. Like that questions you can ask to interviewer at last, if he or she that they want to answer, they want that you should ask the questions. And for project point of view, like some students, like they just paste the project on their GitHub repo link on their resume. But try that you should have knowledge about that project, because if interviewer find that you do not have any knowledge about that project, then it will lead that you are trying to fool interviewer. And yeah, in last round, that is HR round basically, so in which that they can put you in some situations, like like they can say that if you are doing an intern, you are doing your best, and another person is also doing his best, but another person is getting more preference, then what you will do in that case. So they can ask you in this some situations, so you have to act them accordingly, like you will be more interactive. Like yeah, that's you can say that. uh, yeah. And yeah, for like I got selected in Goldman Sachs, so I will tell you process, like what this is the process of the Goldman Sachs drive. So in previous year they took 10 students from our college. So first of all, there is an online test, and it consists of 5 sections. One is coding, and second is computer fundamentals. In computer fundamentals, they can ask you about DSA and OOPS, that you know that. And there are an section about advanced coding section. So the time allotted is like 45 minutes. And they can ask you about mathematics also, like probability or permutation. So that are not much harder questions. You can answer them easily. And there are some paragraph based questions in GS online test also. Like they will give some situations, and you have to respond according to the situations. Yeah. And then yeah, interview. Yeah, interviews, there are 3 interviews for me. So first round is like the coding round. So they can ask you that the coding questions that is very, very easy, so you can answer them. And be kept in mind that if you are answering them any question, so try to explain all your strategy first of all. Because because if interviewer know that what you are doing, so it will be easier for him. uh, yeah. And for round two, they can take any domain like DSA or inter or DBMS or OOPS, and they will ask questions according to that only, like in the second interview. So for DSA purpose, you should know all the time complexity and space complexity of all the data structures. So remember them all before your interview. Yeah. And yeah, for third round, that they will be the coding round and HR round mix. So they will ask you like an advanced coding question, and for HR round, like they will ask you some questions like in situation based or why you want to join that company. So you can Google it on like what invoice domain that this company is working. So you can answer that accordingly. Yeah, that is all from my side. Thanks.
All
Thank
right.
you, Puru.
So yeah, Dikshita, you can go next.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So I'm here to talk about few off-campus opportunities and programs which will help you get a really very important edge for internships and can also help you obtain internships directly. So first I'm going to start with what I have been through. So basically there's this program, mentorship program offered by Microsoft, which for us happened in the month of June, called Microsoft Engage Mentorship. So in this process, basically, a few members were selected through an online test from all over the country, all colleges all over the country, and those selected members were given mentorship for 1 month, through which we had to work on a given project, and then based on that, few were given if Microsoft after evaluating liked the project and the work so far and their profiles, they were offered direct interview by passing the online test during the on-campus internship program, and a few were also given direct internship offer by passing both online tests and the interview. So let me start how the selection process was. So first, in the first week of June or so, we had an online test for which we had to first register by filling a form, giving our details, CGPA, academic details, and a resume, which would also influence the shortlisting. Okay. So after that, we went through an online test, which was actually quite simple, not a mainly coding test as the other companies. It was having both objective questions as well as few subjective questions, and subjective questions also few were descriptive and a few were very casual, and few you had to write the codes very briefly. For few you have to like differentiate like which one is better, which algorithm is better, etc. The main focus topics for this were DSA, basic DSA like binary trees, all the data structures, etc. Their concepts, and mainly DAA, the subject which you have this semester. DAA is very important. Basically, a lot of questions were there based on time complexity, space complexity, which you have to be really good at. But yeah, the thing was the time was 45 minutes and there were quite a lot of questions. So the important thing is to manage your time well and focus on those questions which you can finish quickly, which you know well, and attempt them. And if do not get stuck at any question for a long time, like do not waste a lot of time on one question, because at the end each one had the same worth of marks. So if you don't get a question, just skip it and go when there are many questions. So that was a strategy, and so that was an online test, after which about like 20 I guess were selected, and then about out of 20 not all pursued seriously, like 10 or so from our college pursued a project seriously, and like that there were several, I think about 1,000 plus participants were there for this program throughout the country from all colleges, all kinds of backgrounds. So what happened was, after the online test, we were having several meetings. First of all, the top leads of Microsoft, they themselves, the developers, they all talked to us. They gave us a brief about how it is to work in the company, what all they do, what are their aims, values, vision, etc., and what all opportunities we have if we are selected to work in the company. And then they coached us a bit on the methodology that they follow, the software methodology, which was agile methodology, and we had to work based on that. And we all were assigned a project that we had to complete in a 1 month duration from July 12th or something to June 12th to July 12th. In which we were also assigned 2 mentors who were actual software developers in Microsoft, who will guide us every week and have regular meets, one-on-one sessions, so that we could solve our doubts, we could ask them any guidance, any help, and they will keep a track of our progress. And they were really, really very friendly people. So yeah, the project of which we were assigned was to make a clone of Microsoft Teams. Basically a video calling application. So we had to do that, and as many features as we could implement, the better it give us. There were a few compulsory features which we have to do. And the thing is, see, do not worry that you do not know development by then, because majority of the participants which were there in the program were quite very, very beginners. Okay, so they had no idea of any development. It was their first time. So it's okay, because we have 1 month time. We had the chance to learn the technology which we want to make the app in. So we had the ample time to learn and implement, and also we also were getting constant guidance and feedback from the mentors. So it was a really, really great and amazing learning experience. The mentors are very friendly, nothing to be scared about. They are just like, you know, a few years senior than us, so recent employees. So they were very helpful in understanding our problems, whatever issues we had, and they were very good at guiding. So the thing is, if you are in this, if you get into this opportunity, make very good use of it. Do not take it easily. It's a very, very valuable opportunity. First of all, the project adds to your resume. It gives a great edge. Also, that you worked for this project for Microsoft, that will also give a great edge. Also, the mentors are very, very valuable connections who are I'm still in touch with till this date. So that is also a very good opportunity. And then apart from that, yeah, just it's kind of like a, you can say, 1 month internship kind of, you can you get that feel during the program. So yeah, it's very beneficial. So what happens is, at the end we had to submit our GitHub repository of the application we have worked on, and the demo video and the PowerPoint presentation. And apart from that, what is also evaluated is your how you have interacted with your mentor, like whether you have been consistent in giving them, asking them any doubts, and whatever progress they have you been updating them properly. That also matters. So once all that is done, once you have submitted, they will evaluate you based on their criteria. They may also consider your CGPA and resume into consideration. And then after that, after 2 weeks or so, few from all across the program, all colleges, were given direct internship opportunity, and I was one of them. I didn't have to go to any online test. I didn't have to, I mean, other than the initial online test for the mentorship program, for the internship itself, I didn't have to go to any specific online test nor an interview. I was offered internship directly before the on-campus internship started. So that was there. And several others who were part of the program and submitted a project, they were offered direct interview when the on-campus opportunity came for Microsoft, right? So they didn't have to go to an online test. They directly attended the interview. So yeah, that was the edge that came to that program. So that's why I say, if you guys have this program, do not miss it. Very, very valuable opportunity, and you'll get a project as well as connections. So as well as this edge in internship. So it will be very valuable. And apart from that, so this is general. This is open for everyone. On the other hand, there are few very valuable opportunities specific for girls. So girls, do not miss these, because these also will give you a very valuable edge. So one of it is Uber She++, which I think has released already. It must have come in your announcement groups. If not, please contact your CR. So I'll tell them, okay, if you didn't get the notification yet for Uber She++. So that is by company Uber, and they will take an online test. There will be 3 programming questions, 1 hour. And if you qualify, they will they will have a meeting, a 2-day session in which they will tell you about the company, etc., what all opportunities are there. And then they will conduct another online test. If you do that, you'll get immediately internship for this summer if you pass the second online test. And even if you do not pass the second online test, for the internship season in this August, you will get direct interview by passing the online test. So yeah, this is the edge given by Uber She++. And apart from that, it's again a great opportunity for increasing your connections and just experience to give OT well ahead of the actually internship season. So again, do not miss it. If you guys haven't registered yet, go register and try it out. So yeah, these are the main opportunities. Apart from this, also many will come. Maybe many which have not come for us, but many which are starting for you guys, for your batch. Many off-campus opportunities, mentorship programs. So do not miss anything, especially if it's from like popular companies. Go try it, and it will help you out a lot further. Yeah. So that's all from my side. Any doubts, you can ask me.
Yeah, Dikshita, can you like keep the programs you mentioned in the
Oh,
chat
yeah.
box? Yeah.
Okay, I'll
And
keep it.
Sufyan, you can take over, like, if you want to add something.
Yeah, thank you, Chirantan, and thank you, Dikshita, for like that much insights. Okay, so guys, my name is Sufyan, and I got intern offer from Dsf. So okay, before I start yelling the interview, what like interview experience, like many people have told, so I won't go that way. There was some question asked in the beginning about off-campus versus on-campus. As Chaitanya told, I also got the offer from Amazon, but I'm in D-Shop. So how did that happen? So the thing is like you have to understand one thing. Chaitanya, am I audible? Fine. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, so guys, you have to understand one thing. If you are applying for an on-campus, or sorry, off-campus intern, there are two possibilities. You get selected and the offer letter comes to you, means they message you directly. Guys, like suppose your name is Chirantan. So Chirantan, you are selected for this and that. In that case, you have this authority in your hand to select or reject. But if they message college, you literally lost that thing. You can't do thing. Like suppose as I told, as Chaitanya told, Ashika, Anshuman, and Chaitanya, they got selected for Microsoft interview. Their interview was tomorrow, and before that, like today, they got the email. Like Amazon sent mail to CCPD, our college TNP coordinator. In that case, the offer becomes on campus. Like it was off campus, but converted to on campus. So you lost the authority to choose. You don't have that thing. So if that happens, you can't choose. So basically, Chaitanya, Anshuman, and Ashika were not allowed to appear for the interview, and they were like given Amazon as a final offer. In my case, I got my offer on 4th of August, and the result came on I guess 7th of August. So like the thing is there is a very simple rule for CCPD. First offer is the last offer. Had Chaitanya, Anshuman, or Ashika would have got the offer before that, they were not able to take the Amazon. Even Amazon stipend is higher than or lower than the previous one, you don't get to choose if the offer comes to CCPD. So that is the clearance I wanted to give you guys. So if you guys are going for off campus, it's safe. It's not that very like critical. But the only thing is, if they message you, you are in the safe mode. But if they message CCPD before, like suppose you got intern, if they message CCPD, no worries because you have got intern. But if you have not got intern and they send the message to CCPD, you won't get to choose. So keep this in mind, because trust me, my interview was on 25th of June. 25th of June, no, sorry, July. So the thing is like we were literally confused to say yes or no for interview, because we have been like literally confused and asked so many seniors for 3, 4, 5 days. And then after like getting so much our confusion sorted, then we applied for the interview. So make sure you guys, CCPD is basically our placement select. Okay, so now moving with the interview thing. Okay, give me a minute. Yeah. So in my case, Disha, there was a OT. So around I guess 30 people were shortlisted. Sorry, 22 people were shortlisted for interview. After that, the first round of interview happened. So and guys, like there were so many questions about project. So remember one thing: if you are like including your project in your resume, you must be very thorough about through it, because they saw I wrote Django as my preferred skill. So the first question they asked me, if Django is in Python, why C++ is a primary language? So they will ask very technical questions. So you have to be sure if you are including something. So you must be very thorough with that, because they asked me a lot of question on Django and Python more than C++. So you guys have to be very thorough what you are putting in your resume. Other thing about answering the question to the resume. One project from DSA is sufficient. Chanthan, can you take the chats during that? Okay, thank you. So basically, about the interview and the question. Suppose if the person asks you a very simple question, like suppose if I ask me how to print up Fibonacci series, I know if I answer by a simple DP or something like take a array and just array of I equal to array of I minus 1 plus array of I minus 2, I can like tell him on the face. But the thing is like you should have very convincing attitude so that he can you learn from your own mistakes. If possible, try to extend like a talk, whatever you are getting in your mind, talk, tell the approach, and like try to have a from like try to go from a brute solution to a very efficient solution that shows you have like both the approach, you know how to optimize things. And other thing I wanted to include is about talking to your interviewer during a question. If you don't know the answer or even if you slightly know the answer, it is better to speak to him rather than being mute. Just like speak out what is in your mind. Like suppose I'm thinking in the mind, yeah, it is so tough question, I have not even encountered, just like just say it out. By seeing the question, I guess this should have been this approach or something. Like don't be mute for so long, because that passes a very negative impact on the interviewer. Like you are actually some sort of very like I'm not saying introvert, but the thing is I would say okay, inconfident about it. So make sure you speak to interviewer. And just like as Dikshita also, that interviewer and mentors are so chill. So there may be case they are strict, but okay, just like take it as a consider that as a very rare possibilities. They are so chill. So talk to them, laugh, like basically smile. That is a better, like when you are talking to him, just speak like you are talking to your someone you know from very long time. So in that matter you can talk like that. And the last thing I would cover is okay, so the last thing I would cover is about the experience. The thing is like I haven't told all my experience, because if you go to the CSE and ITW website, there's an internet over there. So all the seniors that who are speaking over here have listed all their, like even like the OT question that we were given, everything is there. So it won't like I would just read that all line by line. So you guys can go there. All you have to do is to make an account on our website, and you will be have access to all the interview experiences, like even rejections, or like suppose I appeared for the Salesforce OT, like that was my first OT and I didn't like pass the OT. And also as Chinantan also told, if you don't get into some company, I guess Chaitanya told that it was over. So if you don't get into some company, literally don't be disheartened. Trust me, the phase when you get rejected or your name doesn't come into that list is literally very painful and depressing. But trust me, as long as like as soon as the company gets over, you will just let's look it from the other angle. The one who are in your competition are less now. Like I'm being very optimistic. So this is how it goes. So I think if there is anything you can ask me in the interview, like sorry, chat box. Rest I will ask the other person to move on.
Yeah, I guess Yash, if you want to add something,
Yeah,
you
let
can
me
add.
take over the mic.
And yeah, and guys, please like check it out, the Internito part of our website. Like find all of the experiences wise and CG and digital.
Guys, first of all, tell that we let me first in- if you have hands-on to competitive programming, then those were a cakewalk for you. Uh, and after the online test, around 25 candidates were shortlisted for the interviews. And unlike other companies, there was only a single interview, that is technical and HR, but both rounds were conducted in the same interview. And the interview started off with my introduction. After that, the interviewer asked me about my projects. We had a long discussion on my projects. Basically, I had two projects. One was of DBMS, and other was an basic Android game. So my suggestion to you guys is that do not go into the complexity of the project. Like it doesn't matter whether your project is a very complex or simple. Uh,
the thing is, you must be thorough in that. You must know everything. Like you should be like, you ask anything about the project, I can tell everything. So yeah. So after the project section, the interviewer asked me to solve a coding question. I do not exactly remember the coding question, but it was a basic implementation of queue data structure. One more suggestion I would like to give is, in the interview process, you will not be provided with the ID. Like generally in coding contest, you solve in an ID, but in interviews, the interviewer might give you just a Word document and you have to code in that. So you must have a practice coding on that also. Like in ID, there are opening. If you put a opening bracket, then closing bracket will come automatically. But it is not the case in normal documents. So try to practice on that also. So at the end, the interviewer asked me some behavioral question, and that marked as the end of the interview. And after the interview, around 13 candidates were selected finally. So that was all about the selection process. Now let me share some tips which helped me a lot during my preparation. The first is, don't skip any code forces short contests because they are very important. This will boost your speed as well as efficiency. This will help you a lot in cracking online test, which is the first ladder for the selection process. I mean, all your knowledge projects you can showcase only after you are shortlisted for the interviews. So you have to crack the online test, and for online test, code forces short contest will really help you a lot. And do not take DBMS oops for granted. Most of the aspiring candidates have a mindset that DSA and projects are enough for cracking interviews. But believe me, DBMS oops are of equal importance. And another suggestion I would like to give is, have complete knowledge and confidence in all the skill set projects that you have mentioned in your resume. Do not try to bluff the interview at any point. And do not get your morale down during the intern drive. I mean, there might be a phase when all your friends are getting placed and you are still not placed. So at that part of time, have patience and have faith in yourself. Your time will also come. So that's it from my side. Thank you and all the best, guys.
All right, thank you, Yash. Who is going to take next? Tanmay, Tanisha.
Yeah, I would carry on from here. Am I
Cool.
audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so let me just keep it short as most of the points, important points are covered. So I got an opportunity as a summer internship from Microsoft, and regarding its selection process. So it is similar to all other companies. You have OTs and 3 rounds of interviews, and then you'll be done. So the OT was pretty simple, and this was a drawback for many of the candidates. Why? Because the OT was pretty simple, and we were given 2 questions. One was pure implementation, and one is like you doable. So, and we were given 1.5 hours. Many people have already completed that early. So, in this case, the CGPA and many other criteria came for selecting the candidates. And so, this was a drawback. And you can see the CGPA matters here. And after that, for the interviews were pretty easy compared to other companies which I have given before. The first round, like the interviewers were so friendly. So in my first round of interview, they just asked about my project. I did not have any projects in my resume. I just had DBMS one, and I know a little bit of web development, just a basic front end pacing. I just kept that. So they just asked about the DBMS project and some concepts regarding the DBMS. And later he just asked just one DSA question. It is done. And similarly, the round 2, it was also pretty easy, and the interviewer was very friendly. And regarding the HR, in my case, it was technical, and also the behavioral, both HR plus technical. So I could say one could easily crack this interview but just the thing is getting shortlisted for the OT. And this was it, that it was very simple, and most of the like preparation strategies, most of them were already covered regarding the contest. You should be giving them to be able to solve in OTs very quickly. And regarding object oriented programming or DBMS, see, the DBMS will be covering most of the part in your curriculum, and also you'll be doing a project, so you'll be pretty confident in that thing. And object oriented programming, you would be reading through tutorial points and all. And for this, I would add a small suggestion that before your interview, if you want a quick revision of these concepts, you can just go to Google and type top 50 interview questions or top 100 interview questions of DBMS and object oriented programming. Most of this would be covered. Like most of the questions, most of the concepts would be covered by reading them. It would really help in a quick revision. And that's it. I have covered this coding part, DSC, like DBMS and object-oriented programming. And regarding this interview, as already said by Sufyan, that you need to be interactive with your interviewer. So the interviewer there, he'll just ask a question, and you should not be mute yourself, thinking yourself in your mind. You should speak out your mind. You need to interact with your interviewer, like how you are approaching to that particular question. Start with the basic worst solution case and go on building your approaches. Explain all your approaches until the interviewer asks, and once he is satisfied, you can code it. And in some cases, they'll give you a test case and they'll ask you to run it if it's working fine or not. So this is it. This is how you need to interact. And regarding this, I want to add one more point, that I was not confident enough in this thing, like to be interacting with the interviewer. So what I did, there was some platform take mock interviews online. The last 10-15 days before the internship season started, every single day I used to go and give the mock interview there. There you would have peer-to-peer mock interviews. I have met many software engineers also. They gave me suggestions. So it really helps you to interact in your interviews. So this is a thing which I would add, and most of the things are already covered. So yeah, this is it. And Chirantan, you also have Microsoft experience. So if you want to add anything else, you can add.
No, I guess that's pretty much it. Like one thing I would like to add is there is something called mass recruiters, which is like some companies hire more recruits than others because like they are like big companies and they need a huge workforce. So Microsoft and Oracle like fall under this category. So like the interview process will be comparatively easier than other companies. But yeah, again, to get shortlisted for that, the OT and basically they hire through the resume shortlisting. So you need to have a good resume in order to get into such companies because like there will be many candidates who are like equally eligible for them. So they will do resume shortlisting. Yeah, that's all. Like if anyone wants to add more,
I
Bharat
would like to
or
add a
yeah,
small thing
okay.
regarding your mindset before sitting for interviews. See, before sitting for interviews, just don't think, "Ki, I want this particular company. I did this much hard work, so I'll definitely get this company." So don't get this kind of mindset. Why? Because you might have done well, you might have performed well in OTs and interviews, even though you might not get shortlisted due to some particular reason, and then you might feel depressed. So don't have that mindset. I would suggest, this is my personal suggestion, just give your best and keep going forward.
Yeah.
And you might see this happened in my case in Salesforce OT, like the entire day you sat for interviews. After second round, you got rejected, and then you get a feeling, I need to start over all again. The OT, this all process, entire process, I need to start over again. Even though you have made your mind that you will not get, you might feel weird. So don't let that happen. Whatever might be the result, just have your mindset, "Ki, I want to move forward. I'll get into any other company for the work I did." So keep this mindset and don't get depressed even if you not get selected and all your friends are getting selected except you. Don't keep that thing. You'll definitely get selected in one or the other company.
Yeah, I would personally like to add some stuff because like this is something like happened to me as well. And like almost to everyone who appeared for the intern drive, because like very few people will get selected at the first shot, and it doesn't mean like they were the best or like the other ones were not good enough as they were, but it like I personally believe like the luck is somewhat like plays the factor here. Not luck for the getting selected, but luck for what kind of questions do you get for the interview, what like in like who is interviewing for you, and what is the mentality, and also these factors also will be there. So don't completely think that like your interview was really good so you will get selected, or your interview was really bad but also you will get selected. So such kind of things will happen. Like you will see that your friend getting selected and your friend told you like the interview didn't go well and all. So that doesn't mean that he lied or something. He might lie, but it doesn't mean that he lied, because like in his perspective he was like the interview didn't go well, but like the interview was very tough actually, that's why I didn't get well. So basically, it is not necessary that you answer 6 out of 6 questions, but you answer 1 out of 6 questions correctly. That's what they require actually. They don't want you to just bluff anything you want, but reply what they want for some part of questions. That's what they mean. Like for DE show, like I went up to the last round, and like there were around 7 candidates up to last round, and out of that 3 got selected, and I was like pretty sure that I will get selected and all. Like I kept like I was very noob to like have that mentality that I will get selected, and then when I wasn't selected, that it was really hard for me to like again start because like the like it was like 2 day process. So I was like waiting for 2 days for the result to come in, and after that I got rejection. So yeah, that happens. So at that time you have to hold yourself and just forget that anything ever happened about that. It will be tough. So at that time, talk with your parents, not with your friends. I would personally suggest that don't talk with your friends, especially like there will be some people who like boost a lot and like flex a lot. So don't talk with them. If you have like genuine good friends who are like who will give you like good advice, then only talk with them. Who will like boost your confidence up. So yeah, just try to keep your confidence as high as possible, because that's all you require to crack the interview. You just need a good confidence level. So don't let your confidence level down. And yeah, I got selected in Microsoft just after D, so like the next one. So yeah, Bharat, if you want to add some points.
Yeah, sure. Hello guys, this is Sai Bharat. I would like to tell my journey to Amazon. I was offered SD intern offer by Amazon. So like I was in the state of confusion at the time of this February, etc. So I just started doing lead code at the time. Yeah. On coming to the, interview process, etc. This time Amazon has only 2 rounds. The first one is the OT, and the second one is the technical interview. The OT was quite simple, and we can do. There was 2 questions, 2 normal hash-based some string-based questions in the OT. They were doable, and there were some debugging questions for us, so they are also somewhat easy. So I was on one more thing I would like to mention is. I have appeared for 12 OTs, 12 companies, and I have selected for none of the OTs. I was selected for the further. I was not selected for the further rounds. So, yeah, that time after that, then Amazon came and I cleared the OT, and it was my first interview. So, yeah, in that interview, the interview was quite chill. Generally, the interviewers will be chill, so you need not fear. So you should be constantly communicating with them, and you should be conveying your ideas fluently. Yeah. In my interview, there were 2 questions based on DSA, and the first question is based on matrix BFS and some modification of that question. And the second question is based on greedy question. That was easy only. And The second question I was able to solve. It was because the question is already in lead code. So I would suggest you guys to go for the lead code and interview with questions prior to the interviews or prior to the OTs, because they are very useful and definitely you guys will be getting questions from them. I mean, probably. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to say. As I mentioned, like I was unable to clear 12 OTs. Like I was literally crying after every OT. Yeah, and one more thing is like, okay, okay, that's fine. So you should be strong enough, and I was able to see like all my friends are able to crack the interview. I mean interns, so I was not able to do. But that was my first interview, and I cracked it. So I was actually happy, and luck also matters. Okay, and luck matters when you do hard work. That is one point. Yeah, this that's what I want to say. And one more thing is like mindset. Like as all the seniors mentioned, uh, you should have some positive mindset, and you should be surrounded with some positive people, because there shouldn't be a person that who demotivates you. Okay, and you should be in a good environment. Yeah, that's what I. And in the chat box I have provided a link. I mean, these are all the resources that I have used. Okay, and you can see like all the things like all the different types of resources, coding questions, dbms, sql, and oops, I think they are really useful. gfg, yeah, you should remember that. That is the only point. Okay, but you should not see the logic directly. Yeah, so this is all I want to say. Yeah, thank you.
All right. So I will add one point, like as Abhishek and like majority of all seniors have mentioned that interviews are kind of easy to crack than the online tests basically. So in order to clear the online tests, you need to work on your like problem solving basically. So you try to solve as many problems as you can on lead code and try to appear in as many contests as you can. So it will improve your accuracy as well as your speed, because both you need in the OT. You have to be fast, you have to be accurate, because like there might be negative marking as well for some OTs. And yeah, and you will see some seniors who cleared so many OTs, but they were lagging in interview part as well. So that varies from person to person. So uh, the more you fail, the more you gain. Like failure is nothing but an experience, you can say. So if you are lagging, let's say like Bharat was lagging in OT. So at that time he contacted me like I'm not clearing OT and all. So at that time I suggested like try to give contest as many as you can. Try to solve problems within time limit and also work on your negative parts at that time, because this process will be really long, like around 2.5 months. So you will get enough time to correct your mistakes. So if you are lagging in OT, try to like improve that. If you are lagging in interview, try to improve that. Whatever you are lagging, try to improve, because if you're lagging in interview means you need to improve your public speaking. So try to have mock interviews with your friends, or you can ask any senior also. We are available because it won't take more than 20-30 minutes and all. So yeah, no, sprinkler doesn't
More,
come at our bad
and
like
more thing,
uh, yeah,
I would like
Bharat.
to add, listen. Yeah, as Sirantan said, you should be working on your negative parts, definitely. Yeah, I personally messaged Sirantan many times. All the coders, all the third year coders suggested me to go for code forces. Like I practiced some of the contests, so to in order to increase my speed. And one more thing is like I was really confident before the interviews. Like if I get chance, definitely I'll crack it. So it was done because of communication skills. So you should be very good at conveying your ideas to the interviewer. And what happened in my interview is like interviewers was quite. I mean, she was not speaking much. So I was just waking up the interviewer, ma'am, are you listening or not? Like, ma'am, is this fine? Like, something like that. Okay, you should be conveying your ideas in a good manner. So you should be good at communication skills. That's what I want to mention. Yeah.
Yeah. And Divya asked that what happens if you don't get an internship. So I will answer that. If you get the internship, then after basically what will happen is it will be around like May to June, July period in your summer, and you will be working on a project given by your mentor in a team, and at the end of project, you will get a PPO, which is pre-placement offer, which means that you will be working in that company. Basically, it's a job offer directly based on your work in your 2 months internship, basically. So, majorly, people who are like targeting internships get a benefit of that they get job without sitting into interviews again. So, if you don't get internship, the only bad thing is like you have to prepare for placements in your like next year, and you will that there will be placement drive same as intern drive when you are in third year, same period as well, July August only, but next year. So you have to go through OT interview etc rounds again, but if you have done internship, then you can get the PPO directly. So yeah, that's the difference if you get the internship or if you don't get the internship. Yeah, not all interns, but depends on company. Like some company gives more PPO, some companies give less PPO. But yeah, it majorly depends on your performance in the intern, like, and how like dedicated you are during the entire. And obviously, like everyone will try to focus on that as everyone wants PPO. Now, Tanisha, if you want to add something to whatever we told.
Yeah, okay. So hello guys. So yeah, I did get my intern very late as compared to many of my friends. So yeah, I was clearing a lot of OTs, but I was lagging in the interview part. First of all, I would like to tell that don't lose hope, because many of my friends were in same position with me, but they lost hope and they stopped applying for intern like companies itself. So many people get demotivated and they stop. They even stop applying for companies. They even stop opening CCPT group. So please don't do that. Keep trying. It is worth the wait. Once you get the intern, it will be like you'll be satisfied that yeah, you did something really good. So I got my intern in Publicist Sapient. It was a 2 round. Uh, First there was an OT, which had three coding questions. One was dynamic programming, one was arrays, and one was simple string question. And also, guys, really focus on dynamic programming, because a lot of questions come in, especially in online tests, from dynamic programming. And from online test, 7 people were selected for interview round. There were 2 rounds of interview. First was technical round. In technical round, I was asked, first question was a sorting algorithm, quick sort. I was asked to implement that algorithm from scratch. So basically, I had to write the whole program and run it. So I suggest you guys not to neglect sorting algorithms and basic questions, and also prepare that a lot, because people like this start solving tough problems, then they start neglecting these basic questions like sorting algorithms and Fibonacci series, some basic questions. So don't neglect that, because sometimes interviewers do ask that too, that from scratch. So yeah, and other question was a dynamic programming question. So this was my first technical round, and in that they also asked me DBMS and OOPS theory questions. So yeah, prepared that well too. Second round was HR round. Basically, situation-based questions were asked mostly. Like if you are in a team and they are not giving importance to you and your ideas, what will you do? So prepare situation-based questions really well, because they test you really hard by throwing out those situations. And yeah, this was it.
All right, thank you Tanisha. And
Now I will मैं कर रहा हूँ थोड़ा बहुत
yeah, मैं तेरे को ही बोल रहा था.
कोई नहीं.
Hello everyone, I am Priyanshu Agrawal and I got my internship at MasterCard. From MasterCard, I will say the OT was very easy, very easy. It was like 1.5 hours, and there were some mental ability questions, like some mental ability questions also, and two coding questions. But that was pretty easy. Coming to the interviews, though, so for me, the MasterCard majorly focused on my resume only. So there were two rounds of the interview. So in both the rounds, both the interviewers go through my resume very thoroughly. So I have to answer. I have to explain them to both each and every point that was written in my resume. I have to say that I have written NSS in my resume, and I was not expecting anyone to ask about NSS, but they asked about NSS also, that what I did in there, everything like that. So you have to be very confident about your resume, and you have to know every bit about it. And another thing about HR round, I would like to tell, let first technical rounds. So in technical rounds, if you are stuck at any question, then and there is a silence around there, then you can also ask for hints to the interviewer also. They are very helpful to me in the MasterCard. So asking hints actually boost up your conversation with the interviewer, and it actually helps a lot. So yeah, and keep interacting with the interviewer. That's the point. And coming to the HR round, uh, in the end of the HR round, it is very like it is very important to, if you can ask one or two questions to the interviewer, because it felt that you are really interested in that company. And also, like, for ask that questions, you can research about the company one day before your interview, which will help you a lot. So like in the HR round or in the technical rounds also, you can ask some questions at the end of an interview to the interviewer. So that will really help. Yeah. So like that's what the 2 points I was that I wanted to add. And that's it from me. All the other points are added, I think. So that's it.
Yeah, that's great. Like those are really important points, whatever you mentioned. Thank you, Kenshu. And Meghna, if you want to add something.
I don't know. I don't want to add. I just want to say all the best and best of luck for you all. That's it.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Abhishek, if you are here, if you want to add something.
Okay, one thing I would like to discuss, which any of you not discussed till now. Like for most of the company in online, you can find a pattern. Like you can see, like the Microsoft has asked some question in one college, they will ask the same college most probably in the other college. So like in my time, like I have many contacts, right? So like most of the company, like I already know 3 to 4 company question beforehand. So I already practiced them and I was very confident. But the reality is always disappointing. Like even I was very confident, like I was able to do a single mistake. So like in Microsoft, like all questions were pretty easy, right? So like I just saw the question and I thought, okay, I have to do just within a minute. I did everything, but I just missed the last line. There was something called constant, like I have to take 10 to the power 9 plus 7 something modulo. So I missed that thing and I was like very like, okay, I did within 5 to 10 minutes. I will definitely get and shortlisted. But so these are the something mistakes. So I will say, like if you are getting any question, be 100% confirm like that is the exactly same question. So like don't do these type of mistakes. So I really did in 3 to 4 company and I really regret very badly. So I think you should, that's why I said don't do these type of mistakes which I did.
Yeah, that's really great, Abhishek, because and also keep in mind that if your OT was like really good and you didn't get selected, then also it's like that is something also that happens during intern drive. Like your OT was really great, but you didn't get selected, and someone whose OT didn't go well, it was like he or she got selected. So yeah, that happens. So in that scenario, instead of like fighting in CCPD group and asking that how I didn't get selected and all, I saw some people doing this kind of things. So I would suggest don't do those kind of things. Don't argue for selections and all. Just start practicing for the next one, because just think like that that company was not the one, you know. So like there will be always the one. You just have to wait and be patient until you get the one. So if any third year is here and I miss to call the name, then can come forward and tell. I guess we are done with all. All right. So yeah, you guys can ask your doubts now. We'll wrap up the session very soon. So you can unmute and ask also. I have given permission to unmute to all. Otherwise, you can ask in chat box also. Like I guess everyone is replying. Yeah. If you guys don't have any doubts, we'll wrap up the session within 5 to 10 minutes. You can ask now. Yeah, what is the scope of max students for tech interns? So, yeah, if we are some companies will be eligible for like allow the Mac as well, like Oracle was allowing as far as I remember. Otherwise, you can go to the internet website and there you can see that which companies allowed Mac. I guess there are 5 to 6 companies who are like allowing SDs who have like more than 50K stipend, and they allowed Mac students as well. Like those are the good ones. Otherwise, there will be core opportunities as well. But yeah, tech interns there will be less. Yeah, Chem as well. Like you can expect 5 to 6 good companies max who will be like uh, giving better stipend as well as open to all. But at that time, like don't argue with your CCPD coordinator like how this company is not allowing and all. In other colleges it is allowing like that. Such kind of things don't do. Like try to be as polite as possible, because they are doing it for you. Like the placement coordinators will be from our college only, and there will be students only, so they are just doing it for you guys. So try to be as polite as possible with them. This number in yeah, placements I'm not sure, but I think yes, it is increases. Why it increases? Because majority of students gets PPO, and those will be like from CSE. So very less CSE people will be there in placement drive. So they will allow other branches more. Like the other branches will have higher advantage in placements rather than internships. I can say that. Soft skills are important. Yeah, definitely in interviews, soft skills are important. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And don't ever copy in your online test or in your interviews, because if you get caught, like you will get banned for your whole entire intern drive. So you won't be allowed to sit in next companies. And one thing also, that if you have applied for a company, like if you have filled the form, you have to give the OT. You can't make any excuses like I was not available and all. You have to appear in the OT. You have to appear in the interview at that particular time. Otherwise, you will not be allowed to sit in next 2 to 3 companies or something like that. That punishment varies, but yeah, you will be given some punishment for that if you apply for some company and don't sit there. So yeah, make sure you
Yeah,
apply only if you are available.
also one last thing. Never bluff in your CGPA in forms because CCPT do reject that, and some students did get banned for that. Like they
Yeah,
were
yeah,
not
yeah.
allowed to apply for 3 or 4
Not even by
companies.
mistake as well. Like just be sure while like.
Like just keep the accurate CGPA. Don't even round up that thing. And yeah, that is it. And also for like, no, it's okay.
All right. No, Apple and Google don't come on for internship, but Apple comes for placements as far as I remember. Uh, Rohit, I already mentioned that project is not at all necessary for intern drive in the start of session. So yeah, and come talking about Google. So Google doesn't come in our college. It we tried to call Google once, but what is problem is that Google internship process is 2 weeks long, and during your intern drive, like after one company releases the selection, final selects, then only other company will take interview. Otherwise, like there can be possibility of double selection, right? Because like if you appeared in two interviews simultaneously, then you will get selected for both and one seat get wasted. So that kind of thing should not happen. So what happened in intern is after the selection of one company is over, then only other interview will be there. So for Google, they ask for 2 weeks time, and that is really like not possible uh, in a native Warangal because like we call other companies as well. So that's why we don't allow Google. But definitely, as Meghna told, you can try off campus for Google. Yeah. So and that's what I told. Like they are taking 5 interns, right? And they are taking 2 weeks time. And in that 2 weeks time, we call around 4 to 5 companies who take 6 to 7 interns. So you can like obviously that's fair enough because like we want as many students to be beneficial for the intern, right? Yeah, like we are not focusing to get top students, like only top students to get interns. Yeah, we focus on quantity because I don't think so quality matters at all, like in intern, because everyone is new here. Like they just want to, get an experience. It's not about in which company you do. It's all about the experience. Yeah, intern drive starts at the end of July, and it might be August as well. But yeah, mostly you can expect in July. Yeah, there is roadmap. There is roadmap by Love Bupper. You can follow that. It is available on the YouTube channel as well, and you can search for 450 DSA. Also, you can follow Interview. I have put all the links in the chat. You can go and like you will get the chat as well later, so you can go through it. Interview and DSA 450. Those are like the best ones. Will they ask any queries to club if I'm part of interview? Yes, they will ask. Like they might ask, especially if it is a technical club. Yeah. If you have mentioned anything in your resume, there is a possibility that they will ask something from that. Yeah. Okay, guys, if you have any doubts, please ask fast. You can also unmute yourself and ask. Yeah, Chinmay, I guess you can stop the recording now.